it's time for our weekly visit to America's West Coast, our California connection. Martin Lewis has gone in search of the next hottest property in Los Angeles and come up with the other Barrymore, Drew Barrymore, that is.
Good morning, Anne and Nick. Martin Lewis here in Hollywood. Today I'm going to meet a seasoned movie star. She's appeared in lots of famous movies and she's had a personal life that's as colourful as her film career. Drugs, rehab, highly public marriage and divorce. But she's still only a teenager. But that's all behind her now as she stars in her latest movie. But first, what's on offer in LA? If you've got a computer, chances are you're familiar with electronic mail, or email as it's known. Using a computer and a telephone, you can send letters to practically anyone in the world. Since most Americans crave contact with celebrities, it's no surprise they've just come out with this new directory, email addresses of the rich and famous. Using this, you can contact anyone from Billy Idol and Bob Hoskins to Bill Clinton and Beavis and Butthead. Of course, there's no guarantee you'll get any reply. In Hollywood, vanity is everything. People are always checking their look in the mirror. So it was inevitable that someone would come up with the true mirror. See, with a regular mirror, you see yourself in reverse image. But with the true mirror, for 150 quid, you can see yourself exactly as everybody else sees you. Is this what I really look like?
I'm not going over a cliff for you two, so just forget it.
Boys on the Side recently opened to rave reviews here, and it stars Drew Barrymore along with Whoopi Goldberg and Mary-Louise Parker. It's a feel-good road movie. It's about three friends who face all sorts of traumas together and come through triumphant. Drew Barrymore plays Holly, a vulnerable yet experienced woman who has accidentally killed her boyfriend and now faces a bigger problem.
When we left, he was alive. How do we know that what she did killed him? Exactly. I mean, he could have tripped and hit his head on the bat. It could happen.
No, you're going back. This is not a game.
I can't go to jail, not with the baby. What baby, honey? I'm 8 weeks pregnant. She's very light-spirited and loves to laugh and is extraordinarily funny and sweet and hasn't lost her, vulnerability through all the damages that life has given her.
The movie bends over backwards to cover all the contemporary issues. Mary-Louise Parker's character has AIDS, and Whoopi Goldberg plays a lesbian.
Well, there's lying, and then there's just not telling.
Big dip.
She's a black lesbian?
I think it's important to show people that, without discrimination, we can be friends with everybody, and that goes for, race, sex, we're dealing with a person here who's dying of a disease, and the fact that that does not still give any right for people to alienate that person, and I think that message is so important.
Drew hasn't had a totally charmed life. She was a child star at the age of 6 with the success of E.T., but at 12 she turned to drugs, and she had a failed 6-week marriage in her late teens. So is that all behind her now?
Come on, honey, let's go get a drink. Either you go through hell and you come out the other side, or you go through hell and you stay in it, and I came out the other side. So in that, you just grow from the experiences, and, that's what life is all about, experience.
The part of Holly suits her well, a person who has been damaged but grows from the experience. And that's why director Herb Ross, who has also worked with Barbra Streisand and Shirley MacLaine, chose her.
Drew is this extraordinary person, First of all, she's incredibly beautiful and gifted. And she's very young, and she's at once 9 years old, totally innocent, and at once 90 years old, having lived a life of great sophistication. So, and I think there's a lot of pain in Drew that elevated the role so that it's not just a ditzy blonde, but it's a woman that's living there, that's struggling to get out.
So how did she feel about being thrust back into the limelight?
It sucks. It's the biggest bottom line I can tell you. Because, it's true, I'm just a normal human being, and my mistakes make no difference on this planet, So I still, even though I'm somewhat jaded to it to a certain extent, because you have to be almost, thick skin, I'm still surprised when people talk about me, because it's just not very relevant. But, they say it's better to be talked about than not talked about. I disagree with that, but, you know, I think you just have to not worry about it, you know, because if you do, you'll drive yourself nuts.
Those hair clips in Drew's hair wasn't because I dragged her out of the hairdressers. She was telling me that that's the latest fashion among the young and hip in Hollywood. The movie Boys on the Side opens in Britain sometime in the spring. I'm off to get myself some hair clips. See you next week.
Oh, see you next week.
Not a bad
indeed.
life, eh? Mm.
Drew Barrymore, she was so sweet in E.T., wasn't she?
You sound disappointed, dear.
Well, she's different now. I suppose all children grow up, don't they?
She is extremely different, isn't she?